So today we have some breaking news to talk about coming out of the LEC world. This is something that I don't think will necessarily surprise a ton of people. It has kind of been the expected move for some time, but to also see it be official and get done is a very, very exciting thing. And there's just some things that I want to say and talk about this kid. But also there is there's a big story about some potential things that could have happened, that maybe didn't work out in a certain way or whatever, that are also very, very spicy. So this story, it's a huge breaking one. We're filling in another, name on the LEC kind of ladder for next year, filling out that transfer hub. We're getting closer and closer to an entire full page. The LEC offseason is going very fast. It's insane. It's crazy. But of course, today we are talking about KCORP news. You guys can see here on the screen, sources. This is from Sheep Esports. Kalist is to stay at Karmine Corp after drawing interest from G2. So that is very interesting because I know a thing we saw a lot in our live stream and even on our YouTube videos, I've gotten a ton of comments of like, why is Hansama not filled in to your guys' transfer hub? Is Hansama not locked in for next season? What is going on there? And it seems like all the Sheep Esports guys and our reporters and our awesome team, they're all like, Hansama's probably coming back next year. Hansama seems pretty likely for G2, but there's always some possibilities. There's always some craziness. So it does seem like, obviously, at least from what we see here, we'll check out some more stuff in a second, that it seems like G2 might have had some interest in Kalist and wanted to maybe try and snag him away from KCORP or maybe even get some kind of deal done there. So first, talking about this kid a little bit, again, very, very exciting. Now, we have heard that Skewmond was kind of the most highly, I don't know if highly sought after free agent is the right word, but he was wanted by so many different teams. Skewmond was on the radar and on the roster of like 6 or 7 different teams or whatever, absolutely insane. But this guy, Callista, however you say it, he is also insane. And the way they talk about this kid is on a whole different level. People think Skewmond is going to be good. They think he's a nice prospect. They think he's very, very talented. But when I hear people talk about Callista, they're like, this guy is like going to come in and be, EU faker. He's going to be AD carry faker, whatever. Like they say this guy's mechanical ability and potential is limitless. Now, the crazy thing here and the big thing to know is if we take a look at this, I would love to be looking at the Sheep Esports website right now, obviously, but as you guys know, the blue wall is insanely strong. The KCORP fan base is crazy. We're actually having like some loading issues on the site right now because this story has got so many people buzzing. It's got so many people going to the site because it's G2 and it's KCORP crossing over. This is a crazy big story, and this is also why I want to try and get this video out to you guys, hopefully in a meaningful amount of time. But this guy's 18 years old. This guy was born in 2006. If that does not make you feel old, if that does not make you feel like a boomer, that is absolutely insane and crazy to me. And of course, he was born in August, so, it's October right now. So that means he was 17 just a few months ago. He just recently turned 18. He's going to be 18 for most of the LEC season. That is crazy. And, this guy is just an absolute monster. Obviously, KCORP with KCORP Blue, they didn't have necessarily as good of results this year as maybe KCORP is accustomed to or they would have liked to have or whatever. We can see here that KCORP Blue finished 5 through 8th at the EU Masters Spring main event and then 5 through 8th in the Summer main event. Obviously, KCORP is a team known for winning EU Masters titles. It's always going to be their goal. But it was not, because this guy wasn't good enough or isn't good enough or whatever. Obviously, you can see here, this is funny too, is one of his solo queue IDs is KC next 80 King. So that's pretty funny. And yeah, he's coming in, obviously, with some very, very big shoes to fill. Not only with all the insane AD carry talent that KCORP has had in the ERLs, guys like Reckless, but also now replacing Upset in the LEC, which is going to be pretty crazy. I know yesterday in the live stream, a lot of people were wondering about Upset as well. We did obviously talk about him, and there was no like concrete news just yet. I don't know if there's been any updates since then, but obviously it did seem like Upset was going to be out of KCORP, and I think people were saying, hey, it seems pretty likely Upset's going to land somewhere in the LEC, even though everyone didn't know where he was going just yet, but I know he's definitely a player people are going to be asking about. So as far as his stats and stuff overall, just insane KDAs, 5.58 KDA here, with 5.72 kills per game here, a little bit down, 2.91 kills per game in the playoffs. EU Masters in the spring, 6.14 KDA with 7 kills per game. I mean, that's obviously absurd. 7.4 kills per game in the LFL Summer, 7.06 KDA, just crazy. Obviously, his mechanical ability, his talent, his potential seems very, very limitless. Like a lot of people have said, KCORP fans are excited about this guy and they're excited to hang on to him. And obviously the KCORP organization is excited about him too and to hold on to him. Some of his match history, I mean, you can just see some insane stuff here. This is 18-5 on Lucian in a 24-minute game, 9-2, 9-2, 8-1. Go down here. You have a 12-0 game on Ezreal. You have an 8-1 game on Kai'Sa. Obviously, he plays, some exciting, fun champions, some good Ezreal games, some good Nyla games, some good Zeri games. It seems like he can hopefully do it all, but obviously doing it all and being an insane talent in the ERLs is different than doing it all and being an insane talent in the LEC or at the international stage. And obviously, like I said, this kid is 18, so he has a time to grow and develop and mature. Hopefully he bursts on the scene as just an absolutely insane beast in the LEC in year one. That would be awesome. KCORP fans would love that. But obviously there is the potential that this thing could take a while and he could need some time. Obviously stepping up in competition is huge. Like I said, even going to the LEC. But then KCORP, they have aspirations, and they continually talk about how one of their desires is to actually compete for world championships, to compete obviously for LEC championships, but world championships as well. So yeah, the step up in competition from the ERLs to the LEC and to the international stage is going to be very, very big. Hopefully the lights aren't too bright, but even if they are at the beginning, he's definitely a guy who's going to have hopefully a lot of leeway and a lot of room to grow and stuff like that. But some of the bigger stuff here in the report further is, again, AD carry Kalista is set to play for Karmine Corp in the LEC roster next year. G2 considered offering KCORP a trade. Yike, Hansama, and Mickey, and a massive buyout for Kalista, and KCORP was not interested. So if that doesn't tell you guys how excited they are about this guy and how integral of a part he is to their organization and to their future, or at least they believe so, that is absolutely insane. And the fact that G2 offered this insane package, because again, it is a little bit weird because, hey, G2 ended up moving on from Yike and Mickey X without a buyout or anything like that. So again, why would KCORP, it doesn't really make sense, because why would KCORP give up their insane AD carry prospect, their insane AD carry talent for two guys that are about to be able to pretty much be freely had on the open market with no buyout or anything like that? So it's pretty much Hansama and a massive buyout for Kalista, and they're not interested in that, which, hey, Hansama is an amazing talent. He's a very, very good player, but he's also not 18 years old. And also, hey, this guy could write his own story and end up being better in that or whatever. So I know this trade offer sounds insane of Yike, Hansama, Mickey, but guess what? If KCORP wants those guys, they can go out and get Yike. They can go out and get Mickey. Like, yes, obviously G2 can ultimately decide where they move them in their contracts and everything, but from what we've heard, it sounds like they're available, no buyouts or anything like that. So the trade sounds insane. It sounds banger. It sounds crazy, but maybe it's not as crazy as it sounds. But still, the fact that KCORP was not interested, they didn't want to hear it, they said, hey, no thanks, that should hopefully show you guys what they think of this kid and how big of a potential move him moving into the LEC could be. But also just a huge crazy story that G2 not only was interested in him, but is interested in some kind of massive trade blockbuster deal of all these massive names moving around. And the interesting thing is, obviously, some of these guys could still eventually end up on KCORP. I know we have heard a little bit about KCORP definitely having some interest in Yike, which is a big deal. We don't know who KCORP's jungler is going to be just yet from everything that I've heard from my understanding. Sounds like they obviously had interest in Skewmond. Sounds like they have interest in Yanko. Sounds like they have interest in Yike. And from what we heard, it sounded like Targamas was most likely going to be their support for next year as well, which obviously complicated things with trying to bring in like Mickey and Yike, or just trying to bring in Mickey at all. But yeah, hey, huge KCORP news. We got it from Wooloo as well. Sources: G2 considered offering KCORP a trade, Yike, Hansama, and Mickey, and a massive buyout for Kalista, but KCORP was not interested. So yeah, huge breaking news coming out of the LEC that we have a new LEC starter. We have a new hot, young, fresh prospect. Having him and Skewmon both in the LEC next year is going to be very fun. And also, G2 has now missed out on two guys that they potentially wanted. We heard that Perus was G2's number one support option, and obviously they were interested in landing this kid from KCORP as well, and they missed out on both of them. Maybe having to go with Hansama and Lebrov instead as maybe their like second choices for bot lane. So that's kind of spicy, because I'm sure G2 doesn't miss out on their number one options all that often. But yeah, pretty much it was the video today, guys. Hopefully catch you in the next one. Until then, peace. Everything we are doing here at Sheep Esports for the rest of 2024 is powered by Holy. This is an awesome company that makes great tasting energy drinks that also just so happen to be healthier than the competition as well. They sent me this starter set deluxe, which comes with a Holy shaker and then 14 individual servings of Holy Energy, Holy Hydration, and Holy Iced Tea. So you get a ton of awesome stuff for a great price. And if you want to get even better price, check out the first link in the description below. Use discount code SE5 to get €5 off your first order, or SE10 to get 10% off your entire basket. If you guys want to help continue to allow us to provide the amazing coverage of both Worlds and the offseason that you guys know and love, definitely check out Holy, buy some stuff. It would mean the world to us. Thanks.